All right, y'all. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Jaguar Wright was on Piers Morgan. I watched exactly 3 minutes and 41 seconds of this interview. The first 3 minutes and 41 seconds. Crazy. We have to talk about it. How could we not? She said household names will be revealed, which is very, very interesting. If you've been paying attention to the news, something very similar was just said at a press conference in relation to additional charges against Diddy coming out of the city of Houston, which is very interesting given the fact that Jaguar Wright also mentioned Jay-Z and Beyonce. If you don't understand that correlation, we'll talk about it in a second. Now, first, let's talk a little bit about Jaguar Wright, and then we're going to watch the interview with Piers Morgan. Because I want to talk about this real quick. You know, a lot of people say Jaguar Wright is not credible. A lot of people are saying she's lost her mind. There's a lot of, stories coming out about her getting arrested and her getting in, fights with her husband. And there are a whole bunch of stuff is coming out. And listen, I don't know. You never know. These are human beings. Human beings could easily be lying, but also could very well be telling the truth. And it's interesting when you see people such as Jaguar Wright come out and start speaking about a bunch of different things that she's speaking on, quote unquote, exposing the industry. It's interesting what other things start to come out about said person in an effort to smear that person's reputation. It's very interesting. Like I said, I don't know. She could be lying, but she could be telling the truth. We'll find out, I guess, right? This is interesting. This is some appearances that Jaguar Wright has been on. So she's been in the industry. This is not like coming out of nowhere because she's been in the game. She's been in the industry. She's a singer. She's dropped multiple albums and EPs. She's been on a variety of different Jay-Z songs. Izzo, Takeover, Girls, 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 Jigga What, Jigga Who, Big Pimpin', Heart of the City, No Love, Can I Get a Hard Knock Life, Song Cry, just to name a few. So she's been in the game. She's been around these individuals. She's been featured on these, songs. She's had a role in these productions. She's been in the industry. She's probably seen some things that the average person has not seen in relation to the industry. Now, she's also made some very interesting claims throughout the years. Now, I'm just going to read these and I'm going to let you have your own opinion about these claims. In August of 2020, she claimed that Common, which was her boyfriend at the time, essayed her, which Common denied those allegations. In August 2020, she claimed that the Roots recruited underage girls with R. Kelly. In September of 2020, she claimed that Mary J. Blige is a lesbianist. In 2022, she claimed Diddy was behind the murders of Kim Porter, Andre Harrell, and Heavy D. This is probably one of the most craziest ones. In 2024, I mean, they're all crazy, but just the thought of this is insane. In 2024, May 2024, Wright accused 50 Cent of being in a sexual relationship with Soulja Boy. In May 2024, Wright claimed Nicki Minaj leaked audio of Meek Mill and Diddy doing sex. In May 2024, she claimed Justin Bieber and Odell Beckham Jr. were doing the same thing. In June of 2024, I'm not even going to read that, but you could read it. In October 2024, she made claims about Jay-Z and Beyonce, which we're going to watch right now. All right. Let's get into it.
Until him and his cohorts are all held to account publicly and legally, the victims, they're not safe.
How bad was it?
That's what I care about. I care about the victims.
No, I understand. How bad was it, do you think, what was going on?
I'm going to tell you right now that me, as a woman who has been in the industry for over 30 years, I've been performing live since I was 13. My first handler was McKinley Horton. I come to find out 25 years later that a scar that was on his face with a very elaborate story he gave me was put there by a woman who he assaulted. To live through these things and hear your elders in the business, people like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey. And being taught to be just avoid him, honey. It's not good enough. Not when you live through these things, you're still suffering the PTSD created by all of this, and you're talking to a victim that's 20 years younger than you, and she's telling you the exact same thing that happened to you.
Right, there's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music. And that clearly seems to have been borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Oh. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is to keep the culture in line so the industry could continue to rape it. For all of its precious jewels.
My Lord.
We have too many lost. The list of lost is ridiculous. And everyone knows Diddy was selected for this job. He's the Judas.
Do you think that if he's cornered in the way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people?
He has no choice. His ego and his drug addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not going to talk is crazy. The simple fact that he's not saying more now only means that the people who have been protecting him all along, who put him in position to be such a horror to the Black community, still find value in him. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it. It's a mess.
For those who were never at these freak-off parties, what were they like?
See, this is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my firsthand knowledge. It is my firsthand witness account experience.
Oh, snap.
I was a sex worker. I was a dominatrix before I got my record deal. That's how I know how the dark world and the sex world and the entertainment world run hand in hand. That's why the movie Blink Twice is so important. Salute to Zoe Kravitz. The sex workers that I have worked with throughout the years and continue to work with even to this day have worn hidden cameras. I have my own tapes. I've seen what they do. The ritualistic behaviors, the drinking, putting girls in alleyways. It's horrifying. And it's all done under the protection of, this is going to be paid off. There's another NDA. This is going to be, it's terrible.
It seems to have been something that a lot of people knew about, but people were simply too scared to talk about.
Everyone knows. And every person that's sitting there trying to act surprised knows very well. The whole point of this, like Cat Williams said when he sat with Shay Shay earlier this year, the whole point of this is for them in a coordinated effort to pretend like none of it is real for the public's perception. But everyone knows what's going on, and it's been going on for years. It's been going on before Diddy. See, people keep looking at him like he's the Sputnik that came out of nowhere. This is someone who was designed to be what he is. We got to stop making Diddies. And if we're going to do that, then we got to go back. We got to go back to even further, the mentors of these people. Because Diddy was taught how to do what he does systematically, and Clive Davis has been his greatest teacher.
Look, Clive Davis is not here to respond to that. Jaguar,
Guess they're on vacation.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think that the world is going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades. For decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I think people should really look into that more. I am friends with Albie Shore. I love him. I love his children. I knew Kim. We used to all hang out together at the Kit Kat Club back in the mid-90s when Diddy was first starting his reign. I watched that whole thing happen. And everything that Albert has been through, every attempt on his life that has been ignored by the authorities, it all leads back to Diddy, and everyone knows it. The wiretapping of the phones, putting air tag on children during visits. These are normal practices that these people do.
Jaguar, I've got to leave it there. I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. And thank you for caring.
I do care.
So hold on. Let me go to Twitter. Because where's the part where she talked about Beyonce and Jay-Z? Let me see.
You want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein.
They took this out of the interview.
Jeffrey Epstein. Robert Kelly. Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
I'm very curious as to why that was taken out of the interview that was posted. This coming out of Houston. Diddy lawsuit. Lawyer for more than 100 alleged victims speaks. This was 6 days ago.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tony Busby. I'm a lawyer here in Houston. I'm licensed in Texas and in New York, and I'll introduce other members of our team as they speak. As many of you know, our law firm has been at the forefront of some of the most important litigation in the United States.
The audio's a little low. It sounds like it's only coming out of the left side, so that's why it sounds a little bit low.
We like the tough cases. We thrive in the complicated cases. We've handled over the last 25 years some very big and very important cases. I believe that this one may surpass them all. There are many facets to this. The conduct we will describe today occurred over more than 20 years. There are many people and many entities involved. And we're going to follow this evidence wherever it takes us. We will find the silent accomplices. We will expose the enablers who enable this conduct behind closed doors. We will pursue this matter, no matter who the evidence implicates. These brave victims who have stepped forward deserve nothing less. The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world. The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward. Our team has had, at this point, more than 3,285 individuals contact us, with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases.
Wow.
And you should know, to the extent the clients feel comfortable, we also intend to make these individuals available to the authorities, specifically to the FBI. And you should also know a few of them have already been spoken to by the FBI. Now, before we discuss the nature of the claims and claimants themselves, let me comment on the large volume of calls we have received since our first announcement. Even before the indictment of Sean Combs, we had received a small volume of calls and had screened a handful of cases. After the indictment of Sean Combs and the announcement that we were pursuing these claims, the floodgates opened. People who wouldn't otherwise, for a variety of reasons, are now stepping forward to make their voices heard and to pursue justice. But no, most of these people are scared. They fear backlash in their communities. They fear backlash in their own families. They are afraid of retaliation from the perpetrators and their associates. They are rightly afraid for their own personal safety. I expect that through this process, many powerful people will be exposed. Many dirty secrets will be revealed. We know what we are potentially up against. And as is always the case in situations like this, when a celebrity is involved, people can be downright mean and nasty. You would be shocked at the length fans will go, no matter the evidence to the contrary, to defend celebrities they love. I mean, there's a reason for this word fans. They're fanatics. I've personally already been threatened multiple times on social media. And when I agreed to pursue this, I expected as much. This isn't my first rodeo. But victims who step forward to have their voices heard should not be subjected to that kind of conduct. They should not be targeted. I want to say this, and I want to be clear about it. Although we are vetting each call as stringently as we can, I always start with a mindset that I believe victims. I believe victims, because I understand the tremendous courage it takes to step forward. So if you're watching this, please hear me. If you're out there and you have been victimized, you are not alone. There is a great strength in numbers. You can seek redress. You can obtain justice. We can help you, and we will help you. That being said, as stated, we are vetting every call that we receive. We have had to turn away some. For each, we ask for corroboration. For each, we ask for the identity of witnesses. We also have collected pictures, videos, texts. We check venues. We check dates. We want to corroborate that the claims being made have legitimacy and merit. We have on staff now a former detective from the Major Offenders Unit of Houston Police Department who is helping us vet each claim. We're using our common sense. We're being stringent because, as I said, these are not easy cases. They're very tough. The process is hard, and in some cases, the process is very lengthy. These cases are hard to prove. Many times, it's the victim's word against the alleged perpetrator. Each of these victims will no doubt be publicly attacked by the alleged perpetrators, and in some cases, the general public. The feckless and cowardly keyboard warriors love to attack. We know what we're up against. We did not enter this fray blindly. I wish it was my last such fray. I wish this type of behavior wasn't so pervasive, but it is what it is, so we will press on. As I said, our law firms have been retained by 120 individuals at this point to pursue cases in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs. You should know, in this group, it is evenly divided between males and females. There are 60 males and 60 females who have joined us to pursue these claims as plaintiffs. In this group, 62% identify as African American, 30% are white, and the remainder are Hispanic or Asian. The victims are from more than 25 states. The majority are from California, New York, Georgia, and Florida. I want to focus on the ages of these victims. When we talk about the ages of the victims when the conduct occurred, it's shocking. Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the acts complained of. The time frame of the acts complained of is very wide. The conduct at issue spans from the years 1991 all the way till this year, 2024. If you wonder why there are so many alleged victims, that's your answer. We're talking about more than 25 years of this type of conduct. Now, although most of the victims who have stepped forward were victimized after 2015, this has been going on for a very long time. Now, when you think about the fact that some of this conduct occurred 25 years ago, and you wonder why would it take somebody so long to step forward, I want to remind you that many states in the United States have recognized that it's very difficult for a victim to step forward and to make these types of allegations when something very terrible has happened to them. I'll use New York, the state of New York, as an example. The state of New York has specific statutes in place that revive claims that are even claims that would typically be not able to be brought, that revive such claims, and they can be brought even 25 to 30 years later. Because there's a recognition there in New York and California and other states that it's very difficult for a victim to come forward. And I would respectfully suggest the only reason many of these people are coming forward because they see other victims coming forward. And it gives them some comfort that, hey, I won't be the only one. And I expect more victims will come forward. You know, there's an old saying that says, a lie has great speed, but truth has endurance. The acts complained of in these cases that we're going to file occurred primarily in New York, either Manhattan or the Hamptons, or occurred in California, primarily in Los Angeles, or in Florida, primarily in Miami. Most of these events and incidents occurred at parties, typically after parties, or album release parties, New Year's Eve parties, 4th of July parties, something they call the puppy party, the all-white party, although several of these events occurred at auditions. Many times, especially young people wanting to break into the industry, were coerced into this type of conduct in the promise of being made a star, or in the promise of having Sean Combs listen to their tape, or even let them read for Sean Combs. You should know that some of this behavior occurred at well-known venues in New York City. Some of this behavior occurred at private residences of people that we all know. Some of this behavior occurred at hotels that we're all familiar with. You should know that more than 55% of the victims filed reported this conduct to either the authorities, that is the police, or to hospitals. We're in the process of collecting with our team assistants medical records, reports that were made to the authorities, and I've already said that some of the individuals in this group did in fact talk to the FBI. You should know that several of the individuals, and when I say several, I mean many, who did in fact seek medical treatment were drug tested, and drugs were found in their system, weird drugs that you probably never heard of. One in particular that continues to pop up is a drug called xylazine, or trank, which, based on our research, is known as a horse tranquilizer. Now, there's been a lot of reports that we're filing a class action. This is not a class action. Class action is when one or two people file.
Bro. Hold on. One brief second. Bro, I just seen a video. Did I save it? I don't know if I saved it. Okay, hold on.
Gentlemen, for all those in London,
Bruh.
gentlemen, for all those in London that don't know what happens to the white man when he comes to a P. Diddy party, this is what happens
the white man.
to the white man.
Look, that guy is just
so unfortunate.
Bro, did that not look like some horse tranquilizer? He's passed out on his face. There's a whole bunch of people around. He's sitting on some type of couch outside. There's a whole bunch of people around. Just passed out. Could you imagine the type of things that were being done to these individuals when they're in that state? And then the video as a tool to extort and to silence and to manipulate. It's like, bro, if you're in that situation, you don't have any recollection of what took place because you're so out of it. Literally anything could have happened. And that's the heartbreaking part of it. I don't see any way. Clearly, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't see any way out of this for Diddy.
But the names that we're going to name, assuming that our investigators confirm and corroborate what we've been told, are names that will shock you. These are individual cases. There are indeed other perpetrators involved. They will be revealed when that particular individual case is ready to be filed. They already know who they are. And I'm talking here about not just the cowardly but complicit bystanders. That is, those people that we know watched this behavior occur and did nothing. And I'm talking about the people that participated, encouraged it, egged it on. They know who they are.
Look at that. Look what you happens
white man.
to the white man.
Look, that guy is just
so unfortunate. You gotta
look,
pull back though, so they can
look.
see.
Like, you're proud of
That's
that?
crazy. Matt, move out the way. You're still alive. Look at that. Look what you got a drink on his head. And that's
He's putting people on blast.
DJs aren't supposed to pass out, but
He's passed out. He's passed out. And the dude sitting next to him has a drink rested on his head like it's a nightstand, essentially. Just the drink is just sitting on his head.
when they come to one of my parties, this is what happens to him. I put him to sleep.
Next day, right?
Yeah.
You put the drink on his head.
Just to let you guys know, just FYI.
Well, you're definitely going to have to take this into the editing software. Oh, man. We could talk further about this on Patreon if anyone's here at this point in the video, then I'm assuming it's because A, you're either very much interested in this topic, or B, you just enjoy hanging out and listening to the conversation. And you really rock with me like that. So we can go deeper on Patreon, you know, if you are the person in the B category. And that way we don't have to, you know, do a whole bunch of editing and stuff. We can just kind of react to stuff and really dive into these topics, because this is crazy. Let me know what you think, man. Something that she said that stood out to me, going back to Jaguar Wright. She said he's been the devil for 30 years, referring to Diddy, and that everybody already knew this. Crazy. All right, y'all. I'm out.